Okay, we're going to jump right into our afternoon session here on August 21st. And we are going to talk about a bit more of the advanced level stuff, talking about editing content, managing pages. We're even going to talk about some of the really cool fun stuff using sections and all the really cool stuff that we can do with our new site. So let's dive right in. Quick recap: to manage your website, you are going to have to remember to go to admin.campuscontact.com. You might want to bookmark that somewhere on your computer, or just keep it in mind, admin.campuscontact.com. That's where you'll go to edit your new website. I'm going to log into our new website with my demo user. And I just got a new keyboard that I haven't figured out yet where everything is, but we'll try to get through it. And when we log in, we're now at our dashboard where we can manage all of our sites, see our site stats, manage our profile. We can click on edit to go edit the site, or you can just click on the thumbnail photo of it to edit the site. You can also see what the URL is, and as well as when it was created and when it was last published. So in this case, I created it in March, and I actually just updated it this afternoon. We can also click on preview to see the site. We can see any site stats. And at the far right, we can manage our store, our blog if we had one turned on, which I'll do, and any form responses that will all be aggregated into one location. So we can do that here as well. I'm going to jump right in and edit it. We're going to add some pages. We're going to do all kinds of fun stuff. So we're now logged in, and we're officially in edit mode. We know that because we see the black bar across the top. We see these bar options, or these boxes of options on the left-hand side. And so now we can start managing our new website. So to do that, I'm going to create a whole new page. I'm going to get rid of my test. Actually, I'll use my test page. I think it's empty. There it is. Yeah. I'm going to actually delete that. We're going to just start over with creating some pages. So I'm going to delete a few different pages here. And I'll delete one more. There, let's do this one too. All right. So here I'm going to delete some pages. So I've just got a couple of pages left on my site. Let's go add some new pages. So to add a new page, of course, we click on the new page option. And I'm going to show you the 4 types of pages that we can add to the site. The first one, of course, is a blank page. That's what we did earlier, where it's truly just a blank canvas for us to add stuff. We're going to do a page URL. It's a page type that redirects to another website or URL. We're going to do a folder type, which is kind of a placeholder for other child pages under it. And then we're going to do templated page, which is any of these examples of templates that we have, where we can put out pre-designed, pre-templated content type pages. So let's start with our blank one. We're going to add a new blank page. Click on blank page. Call it my new page. Whatever you want to call it. Don't worry about it if you misspell it, because I'll show you how we can go back and rename it too. So click add page. And as soon as you add a new blank page, you're taken to that blank page. And you can tell that you're on a specific page a number of different ways. On the left-hand side, the page we're on is highlighted in blue. In a navigation, this particular design has pages selected in black. Depends on your design. It could be in blue or underlined or circled or whatever your navigation design is. And of course, in the navigation URL at the very top, you'll see in your browser, this one says my new page, tells me what page I'm on. That entire URL is not going to look like that once your site goes live. It's much cleaner than that. So we're just in the edit mode, which is why we see the URL with some of these other codes in it. Don't worry about that. That's not how it's going to look when it goes live. So here's our new page, and now we can add stuff to our new page. The things we're going to add to the new page are going to be widgets, and we get those from the left-hand side by clicking on widgets and selecting the widget we want and dragging it out to the page. Now we can also just go to our page, and if we mouse over anywhere on a blank area that says empty column, we can right-click and we can go to add and add widgets below. So we're going to do a couple of different ways. We're going to first drag widgets on the side, from the side, and then we're going to do some on the page. To do that, we're just going to go over here. I'm going to grab a text widget. It's probably the most common. Grab this guy, drag it out to the page, and up pops our editor. This is our WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. And from here, we can just start typing stuff. This is my new text box with some basic text. And this text box, the font that's selected by default is in our design that we've created for you, but you can always change that font as well as the font bold and underline and colors and stuff by selecting that in your floating text editor. Select bold and underline, italics, different colors. We can also change different font sizes and the font family. So again, there are just dozens and dozens of them in here that we can use. These are all of the Google fonts, so they are web accessible fonts. They all work on all devices. We can do the alignment. We can manage the line height. Of course, there's no other items in this, so line height won't show anything. And we're going to talk about links in a few minutes, but we can link content anywhere as well. We'll talk about some of the linking we can do. We're going to skip this little icon here, the connect to the content library. That's definitely going to be for another class that you may want to attend later. And we'll be notifying people as we do individual specific classes. We can do bullets, adding a bullet on the left, or turn it off. Oh, let me just do my undo here. Yeah. And thank goodness for the undo button, because it will undo anything you mess up. We can do button or numbers, bullets, whatever we want, or none of them. Turn both those off. And when you're done, just click the green checkbox to save it, and now it's there. So that's my new text box. Not a whole lot to it. Now, you can copy and paste from any source and put it right in there. So if I go to CNN.com, for example, it's going to go grab a, let's not do that. Let's just do something a little generic here. Wow, goodness. Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to grab some content here and right-click and copy it. And go back to my website. In my text box, I can click it. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's close that. All right. So you can see I copied and pasted my content. Of course, it doesn't have to be with the bold, italics, underline, and stuff that I brought over earlier. You can change that as you see fit. But it just shows you that you can absolutely copy and paste content from anywhere. Now, you cannot paste photos in a text box, because a text box is literally just text. And to add photos, we would use another widget under widgets that has text and images. In fact, if I just go over here to the top and type in text, you'll see I have an option for text and image. So I can drag that out here. And in this case, I want to add an image to it. You'll see by default it's got an image placeholder there. All we have to do is click on that image in this pop-up, and pretty much everything you do is going to be in the pop-ups that you'll see on the page. So for example, to edit this content, all I have to do is click it, and up comes my pop-up. And from here, I can just click on the photo. Let's put in a school photo. How about that? Just go search for something schoolsy. And that little kid looks great. We'll put that in there. And we can move it to the left or the right. And we can even edit the photo. We'll show you in a few minutes. We can link that image. Anytime you add an image, of course, you want to add alt text to it. So this is an old girl at school. Whatever kind of alt text you want to add. And of course, your paragraph. So in fact, I'll just paste the one that I copied earlier. And when I'm done, all I have to do is close it. And there's my text. Now you may be wondering, well, how do I modify my photo size and change some other things? We're going to talk about design shortly as well. That's going to be in a few minutes. But we really want to talk about getting content on the site first. Content is king. And your primary focus should be not necessarily making it look great yet, but getting the important stuff on the website that your users need. So if you just need to get announcements out there, get your announcement out there, put your information out there, and then focus on making it pretty. So that's the styling and all of the design stuff that we'll talk about later. For now, we're gonna circle back to that. We're just gonna add some more stuff to our page. So below at the bottom, we've got just some plain old text. Above that, we've got text with a photo. Let's go add some other things to our page. We're gonna go back to widgets on the left and maybe add just a photo. Drag it out to the page. I'll drag it here in the middle. In this case, we'll put some school buses. There you go. And there's some school buses. We can, just like you would in PowerPoint, you can mouse over that photo and you'll see the little anchor squares around it. Those little white squares that show up on the corners and on the sides, they call those anchors, and they allow you to grab it and move it wherever you want. You can also grab the corner and make it as large or as small as you want as well. And what's great about the new system is we can manage the distance between items by just grabbing those little anchors and pulling it up or down, farther or closer to other items below it or above it, and creating additional space. So it's really, really simple to manage the space and the distance from things. It's also very simple to align things. If you want to make this photo left aligned or right aligned, all you have to do is right click it. And you've got these arrows to allow it to align left, center, or right. And you'll find these arrows on every item. If you right click it, you'll see we can right, left, center. We can do that for everything. There's not much difference in this one, of course. But again, just know that to manage the size of the photos or anything, you simply mouse over it. You can grab the corners and make it as big or small as you want. So it's real easy to manage those kind of things. Now this photo, we're gonna go chop this photo up because there's actually a built-in photo editor in the system. So in this case, I added a photo, and I'll show you lots of different ways to do this later on as well. I click on my photo, and I can replace the photo with a different one, or I can edit it. And with my photo editor, I'm gonna click edit, and let's use my built-in photo editor. So up pops a photo editor, kind of like a mini version of Photoshop, where we can change the size of it. We can actually do quite a few different things with it. I'll chop it out and I'll make it long and skinny. How about that? We'll just show the buses. We want to make it just bussy. There we go. For no reason at all, we're going to take this perfectly good bus photo and chop it. There you go. We like that. So let's save and close. Now, when you edit a photo, you're not altering the original. It's simply taking a snapshot of it and adding a second version of it. The original that you added to the system is still there. That's that one. So you're not altering the original one at all. So if you've uploaded some photos and then you put in you altered it, chopped it up, did something to it, don't worry about it. You're not messing up the original. You're only messing up with the altered version. If you don't like it, delete it or replace it with your original and then start over. So that's our photo editor. Really nice. Again, just select a photo, click on edit, and then you'll be in the editor mode where you can put frames around them. You can put little stickers and brushes and text and whatever else you want to put. So whatever. Anyhow, you get the idea. We can do all kinds of fun stuff on there. There's a lot of features and functions, so I'm going to be going through them kind of quickly, but you can come back in and watch this later on. I may have mentioned in the last video or not, but in this one, I will let you know that all videos are recorded and accessible by going to campuscontact.com/training. So if you can't finish this session, or if you've missed it, you can come back in here and you can see all of the previous classes, including like the one that we did this morning. You can get to right there. And so you can see all of the other classes that we've done. So just pass that around for other folks who may not be able to make the class. So let's go add some more content to our page. And I'm just going to keep stacking up stuff here and then we'll talk about columns and organizing things. Let's go grab another widget. How about a calendar? Just grab it out here and throw it on the page. Add a new event. I'm just gonna, I don't know, add a couple of new events. All right. So I added some events. Actually, I've just added my calendar to the page. The calendar is really nice. We can view it in week, month, day, or even a list view. If I go to preview, I can select those different options. Of course, there's none in this one yet. Go back to my editor, and I can add a new event by just selecting Add Item. Let me delete all these. I'm going to select Add Item. We'll say Rob's first event, and you can show a photo or not. Totally up to you. I'll say a photo, and I'm gonna put, I don't know, how about that school picture in there? Give it a description, something big happening here. And you can even select the start time, start date and end date. You can add links. We're going to add links later on. We're going to talk about all the different things you can do with links. But when we're doing links, we can link to existing pages, to third-party URLs. We can link to pop-ups, to anchor links. We can even link to items within your store. Maybe you're going to have something in your school store, or promote maybe some holiday wrapping paper, or whatever, candles, whatever people are selling on your calendar, and then you can link directly to it. You can link to email addresses. We can even do link to call, so that if somebody clicks a link on a mobile device, it will actually dial up the number. And last is we can link to any file. So there's lots of different ways to do links. I'm going to skip that for now. And that's pretty much it. There's my new link. I didn't even see when I added my link. Let's see, where's my calendar on my event. I didn't even check what date I added it. There it is. So let's see. This one is on 8/21. I'm going to do it over a couple of different days just so we can see a span of days. Let's go add another event. It's going to be my second event. And we'll have this one start on the 12th. Why not? That's fine. I think you get the idea. We can do all kinds of different fun stuff with our events. I'm going to refresh my page real quick. Actually, it was there. So my event is, my second event showing up here. And actually, let me go into the preview mode so you can see how it's going to look. If I click on it, it will do a pop-up. There it is. We can style this any way we want. So there's lots of things we can do with the styling to make it appear differently. We're not going to touch that right now. We're just going to leave it alone and go add some more stuff to our page. Like everything in the system, we can size this by just mousing over it and grabbing the corners and smushing it down, making it taller, make it wider, do whatever we want there. So we can do a lot of different sizing stuff with it. Of course, we can also right, left, clear, do all kinds of things. We're not going to cover it today, but we can also manage animation, how things enter and move around on the page. We can do containers, and we can do all kind of fun stuff. We're just going to keep adding things to our page for now and keep on going. And then I'll show you why, because we're going to talk about columns and rows real quick. So let's go add another widget. Just one more. How about links? So links is probably the most commonly used widget in the system because it's most similar to our old announcements widget. I'll drag it out to the page as well and say, this is my links widget. You'll see as I'm typing it, my title appeared. And now I can add some links. If I click on links, we'll give our link a title. Say this links to Google. And we'll do several different types of links. So of course this links to Google. We're going to link that to a website URL. That's going to link to google.com. And anytime you link to a third-party website or to a document, you want to always do it in a new window. So that's the default for all links. If you want to, for whatever reason, turn that off and have it open in the same window, you can. However, I strongly recommend that you always leave it open in a new window. You'll just do your readers a favor. So we've added a link to Google. Let's go add another link. Click it, add a new link, and let's say this one links to, this goes to the student page. So in this case, I can link this to an existing page. Select existing page, hit the drop down, shows all my pages. We'll go to students page. If you don't have a page for it yet, if you're going to create a link to a new page that's not here, of course you can just create a new page and link it there. Let's keep going and add a few more links. Add a new link, select that link, and we'll link this one to an email address. Click here to email me or mute. We'll select email address, and you'll see the email address field comes out. And I talked earlier about some of the website content that you can add, such as your school name and email addresses of users, as well as social media addresses and things like that. And that's because of areas like this where we'll have all of your content in the site and you can automatically select from it. So it'll automatically populate as we go down. So there's an email address. Let's do a click to call and a file download, and then we'll move on and I'll show you some other things. So add one more link. We'll say, click here to call us. This will be a click to call. Add a phone number. Of course, my old standby, 867-5309. If you don't know that, go Google Tommy Two Tones. We're going to go add a file. And this links to a file. In this case, we can link to a file for download. And a file for download, we can click on the file option here. And we'll be able to either link to a file that's in our system. So I can search for like .pdf. I know there's a zillion of them in here. I can link to here. Or if I want to change the file, I can click and change file. And maybe I want to go upload a new file. Maybe it's a file that's not here yet. I can link directly to, I can upload a file from my computer, or I can link directly to Dropbox, or directly to Google Drive. So if you're a Google school, you can connect your Google Drive and link directly to a Google document. And if you do that, the document that you're linked to will be stored in your Google Drive, but shown on your website. Nice thing about that is if you change that document on your side, on your Google side, it will automatically be updated and changed in the website. So you don't have to manage the document in the website. Just link it to your Google Drive, change that document there on your side, and it'll automatically be reflected on the website, and you never have to mess with it again. You can also do links to documents and any documents in your Gmail as well. So I'm just going to go back and stick with the document I added, which was ABC Warmup. So you can see there's different kinds of links that we can create. Existing page links, website links, we can do pop-ups and anchor links. I skipped those. Of course, we can link to store items, email addresses. We can link to call you directly, as well as link to a file for download. So there's all my different kinds of links. And like everything, we can just mouse over it, grab the corners of it, and make it as small or as big as we want. Make it as tall as we want, giving space between the other items. So you can just move things around. If I grab this, move it down again, I can give myself some space between the different items just by mousing over it. So let's go add one more thing to our page and just really make a mess of it. We'll go back to widgets on the left, and let's go add how about a photo slider? That's always a fun one. We'll add that on the page. So just drag it out to the page, and it will automatically populate with some default photos. Don't worry about it. We're going to change those default photos, but this is just an example of how they look initially. So we can change those default photos, and I'll even show you how we make it bigger to cover the whole screen. But to change the photo, just click on it, and here's your default photos. You can just close those three out and go grab another photo. How about that kitty cat and that bus and these kids? All right, so there's my photo slider now. It's got some new photos on it. And this is where we're going to briefly talk about the design options, because there's a lot of different options in the designs of pretty much all of these different widgets. So there's a lot we can do in terms of how they look on the page. Again, focus on content first. Get what's important on the page out there first. Then come back in and pretty it up and play with all the good stuff afterwards. But keep in mind that content is king. That is your priority. That should be your most important thing, is to get important stuff on the page first. Then you can come back in and tweak it and play with it and have all the fun stuff. So in this case, I got my most important photos out there, my kitty cat, my bus, and my kids. So now I can come back in here and play with it. And that's on the Design tab. And every widget that you put on a page will have an option, some options on the Design tab. And in this case, in the photo slider, it's going to be different. Like, we can change different layouts. For example, this one has the text right on it. We can have the text show below it, or no text at all. We can change the width of it, the size of it, height of it. We can display the full image or not. We can even do an overlay color. So maybe if you want to do, maybe if your site's green or orange or purple or whatever, everything can have kind of a different hue to it, or none at all. It's always my preference is none. You can add borders to it, make it select the different colors. So the design class that we'll do later is kind of fun, because we'll go through all of the different design options and all the different widgets, and it's kind of fun, and it's amazing what you can do with this new system. So there's really no limit to what you can do in terms of design and playing around with different stuff. So we'll just wrap up this one here with our photos. But you can see I've added new photos, and of course I can drag it and make it as wide or narrow as I want. I'll make it a little slider, narrower, just by grabbing the corners and smashing it down, and now it's whatever size I want. So that's the photo slider. So the reason I jammed all this stuff into one long column was to go into the next item, and that is talking about rows and columns. So I've got all of these stacked on top of one long row. It doesn't look good at all, and it's just in one row and one column. So your whole website is based out like a table. And we have rows and we have columns. Rows go horizontally, columns go vertically. Of course, you knew that. But the rows go full width, and the columns will be as tall as the content that you put in them. And we can add new rows, so we can split things up, and we can also add new columns. To add a row, you can right-click on any blank space and go to Add, and add a row above, and add a new row. And you see it just added another blank space there. And I can right-click on a blank space and say Add another row. You can add as many rows as you want. And they're all just blank rows right now. And you can see each row as you mouse over it, and it'll put a little blue line and highlight the column that's in that row. So these are just the rows, and you see my original one, my long one. So the nice thing about this new system is everything can be drag and drop. So if I want to move my photo gallery here up to the top row, I can just grab it and move it up. And now it's in a different row from the rest of my stuff. So I can easily move things around and kind of shuffle things around as I see fit. I'm going to undo that. And I'm not sure why it gave me a hard time, but it did. It stuck another photo in there. Okay, so I can move my things around in different rows. I can move them around within the same row. If I want my calendar above those text, I can do that. If I want this above that, I can just drag them around. My calendar is a little tall, so you can see we can just drag and drop and move things around real quick and easy just by mousing over it and grabbing the corners and dragging the order. So that's the vertical aspect in terms of rows. Now the next would be in columns. So we've got everything stacked in one long column, which is not real pretty. So we want to probably break things up into into 2, 3, maybe even 4 columns. 4 columns are the max, so that's the maximum number of columns you can add. So to do that, we right-click on any blank space, and we go back to Add, and now we can add columns. Well, we still have the option to add a row. We'll talk about sections later, but we're going to add a column. And now when I add a column, you see I've got a blank column on the right, and I got my other filled column where my photo gallery already was. If I right-click on a blank space again, I can add another one. I can add another column. And now I've got 3 columns, one where my photo gallery is, and now I've got 2 blank ones. right click and I go to add. I can add a fourth column. You can see it's automatically sizing the columns so that everything's equal. However, you don't have to keep them in that size. If you have something on the left that's really wide and you want it bigger, just grab it and drag it. So you can manually change the width of these columns by just grabbing them and shuffling them around. And then put content in them. So let's go grab my calendar. I'm going to bring it up here to that column there. And that looks ridiculous because it squished it up to nothing. So maybe I've got too many columns. To get rid of a column, all I have to do is X in the corner of it. And now you see it made more space. And then just make my calendar wider so it fits my column better. Maybe I even want to make my photos a little wider now. So you just simply grab them and drag them however big they need to be. It's real easy to make things in the same size. There we go. So now they're about the same height. And all I did is drag them. So let's go make some more columns. Again, in a blank space, not on the gray area, but in a blank space, just right click, go to add a new column. And you see now we've got multiple columns. I can even do that over here on my existing content. Just right click on the side, add a column, and you'll see it shuffled everything over so I can now move things around if I want. I can take this one and move it to the right, and maybe move that one over to the right with it. Let's shuffle the order of them here. Just drag them around. See how easily we can change the size of them. And if I say, well, I really don't want it that size, I want it at different sizes, I can move things around however I want by just grabbing the center of the columns and changing their width. And let's put that above there. And maybe we'll add another column. Right click, add a column, and we'll stick these little links over to the right. Links don't take up much space, so let's smash those guys to the right. Whoops. Yeah, that should be plenty for those. And so now I've resized all my content and restructured it so it looks a whole lot better, and we don't have to scroll a mile just to see all my content. And now I've got a big gap between the row I made at the top and where my content is below. So we've got this little blue box. Anytime you mouse over a row, the row item box comes up. We can click on that, and we can move a row up or down by clicking on the arrows, as well as we can go down and delete any row. So if you've got too many rows, just blank rows just sitting around, you can delete them, or you can just move stuff up. So the row that has my content, I can click on it and just move it up. Click on it again and move it up. So now it's up there with all my other stuff. Now I've got everything kind of closer together, and I've still got some empty rows at the bottom where I can add some stuff. I've got one with 2 columns. I've got one with 1 column. Again, we can add as many columns as we want by right-clicking on a blank space and adding more columns or another row. So we can add rows or columns as you see fit. So that's why we started off with 1 long column. Just pile it all in there. Again, the initial goal is get the important information on the page. Then worry about structuring the page so that it looks the way you want it. Rearrange things, drag them around, make them pretty, put borders, put colors, do whatever it is you want. But priority number 1 is get the important information out there, get it on the page, get it live, and then come back in and make it all pretty. So we've added a few widgets, we've added a page. Let's go add some other page types. Let's go back to the top left on pages, and we'll add a page URL by clicking New Page. And we added a blank page earlier. Let's add a page URL. That's going to be a page that links out to another website. So maybe this one goes to PowerSchool. Well, if that's the case, then you just need to put in the PowerSchool URL, which I think is www.powerschool.com, I believe. We'll find that out in a minute. And click Add. And now you'll see that I've got another page called PowerSchool. It immediately shows up in the menu over here. So I know that's in there. And I can tell that this is a page URL because in my page listing, it added a little globe to it. And you can mouse over that and you can see that it's an external URL. So I can tell just by glancing at these pages what kind of page they are. This one's a page URL. And we'll see other pages in just a minute. And if I go into my preview mode, I can now click on that PowerSchool page, and it's just letting me know this is an external link. Now you can go to it by just opening a new tab and actually go to it. Yeah, I did, right? It is powerschool.com. So it's loading up the slow PowerSchool page. There it is. And so we know that link works. Or if you just test a link and you like want to click on it and say, okay, yep, it's there, it's working. You can just click got it, or just leave it alone and it'll fade out. But at least I know now that I've created a URL type page, and I know it works. All I did is go to Pages, New Page, and the page type is a page URL. Now the other kind of page type that you might add pretty commonly is what we call a folder page. And it's maybe there's a better name for it. I'm open to suggestions. But a folder page is basically a placeholder. It's not a real page that you're going to be able to navigate to, but it's a page category or a placeholder of types of pages. So a most common one might be departments. So maybe in your district website, you have quite a few different departments. You might have HR and athletics and math and science and all the different departments and whatever they may be. Well, they're all going to be under a departments page. But if somebody just clicks on departments, there's nothing really there. It's just a placeholder. So under that might be other pages. Let's go add a new page called HR. And maybe we have another page called athletics. And we'll add one more. We'll call it principal. How about that? Now I've got my 3 pages that go under the departments. You can see they're all stacked across the top here. These HR, athletics, and principal need to be under departments. To do that, I simply grab them and drag them to the right. And now they're under departments. You see departments now has a little arrow next to it to show me that we can expand or collapse it. And you'll see that it's got a little folder icon next to it, which shows us that it's a folder type page. And these are the pages that are underneath it. And so to see how that works, let's go back into the preview mode. And if I click on departments, it's not going to take me to departments because departments isn't a clickable page. It's just a placeholder. We go home, we can kind of see a better example. I'm on the home page, but I'm clicking on departments and it's not going anywhere. Well, that's because it's not a viewable page. There's no content on it. It's a placeholder for HR, athletics, and principal. So this is pretty common, especially for departments pages, maybe school drop-downs, things like that. You might have a list of schools under here. It might say schools, and then under that might be elementary, middle, and high school and all your other schools. But clicking on just the schools link, it's just not anything that, at all. So it's just a placeholder. Let's go back and add some more page types. Another page type, well, we don't have to expand that. So we've done a blank page, we've done a page URL, and we've done the folder type. So let's use some of our pre-made pages instead to add some other type of pages. Maybe you want a contact us page or something about services, maybe something your department does, or a specific project. Maybe a landing page for some big event upcoming, or an about us or a team page. To do that, all we have to do is select the page, and it doesn't have to be about us. It can be, you know, our school, whatever you want to call it. You can give it whatever name you want. You can just click Add Page. And using these templated pages, it's going to add all the content on the page as the template was designed. And then all you have to do is change that content. About us can just be, to change it, just click on it. And this is about our school. And maybe these guys aren't what you really want to be showing off, so click on it. Change the photo by just clicking it. And this has some kids. How about those guys? There we go. So now we've got some kids in the photo. Now, anytime you see a photo on the page, you can also change the alignment. This is cutting off the top of these kids. So we can click on the alignment, shove them down a little bit. Looks like that's probably not a good example of one, because whether we go up or down, it's going to cut somebody's head off. So we'll just leave it there. But just know you have the ability to shuffle photos left, right, up or down, however you want. You can also do overlays on photos, any photo in here. So if you want to add a purple or funky colors or whatever you want over a photo, you can do that as well. I'm getting into the design stuff again, so I need to stay focused. But so here's our template that we created. We changed the words. Maybe you want to change the word colors so it stands out a little bit better. And then we start going down the page and just simply changing the verbiage to match whatever you need for your particular school. You can just come in here and click on any of these items and change the text. Change your buttons. This is my button. Or if you find something on a page in a template that you just don't need, maybe you don't need a button, just get rid of it. It's your template. You can modify it as you see fit. If maybe the photos are too big, you can change it. You can modify it because, again, this is your template page now, and this is your content. You can change icons. Just select it, go grab another one, and make it whatever you want. Maybe change the wording, a new category, whatever it might be. Of course, we can drag things around. We can shuffle everything around. We can move things from one side to the other, just like we did on the other one. So moving stuff around is real quick and easy. If you need to add more to it, you can even copy an entire section. Just right-click on it and go to Copy. And let's add another column and paste it. Oh. Let me go back and copy it again. Copy it and paste it. Come on. I promise we can do copy and paste. Copy and paste. There it is. Okay, there's my paste. Copy and paste. And copy and paste. And because we can just drag things around, we know we can change the order of these quickly and easily. Move that up, move that up. Whoops, too far. Thank goodness for my undo button. Move it right there. And of course, go back in and change it as you see fit. So we can modify things real quick and easy. And so we can take this template that we started with and change it all up and really make it our own. But what's great about these templates, they give you ideas of how to lay stuff out. And all you've got to do is just go in and change all the content. And so it's a whole lot faster than starting from just a blank slate, and that you've got a good head start already on your page. So it's really easy to do that. So let's go back to our pages. Those are our kinds of pages. Again, we've got blank pages, page URLs, lots of different pre-made pages, and then our folder page type that's just a placeholder. So we've got those. So now, let's go back in here. And pardon me, I'm actually just going down a list of items that people requested in the last training session. And, okay. So let's go to another blank page. Let's see, I think we made one on my blank page. Where's that? I'll go to HR. Yeah, my HR page. So we're going to add some different widgets to this page. We're going to add some different content. But we're also going to now jump over to talk about sections. And just like we had pre-designed pages under here, we've got lots and lots of pre-designed sections. And essentially what sections are, they are a collection of different widgets for all kinds of different content that you can add to your page. And I'll just demonstrate that. So if you mouse over any row, you'll see that it puts a blue line around that row, but it also puts a big blue plus right in the middle of that row. If you mouse over that big blue plus, you can add a new section. And click on that, we have our sections. And this is where it gets really fun. If you want to make a really beautiful, really artsy, just an incredible website, you can do that without being an artist, without being very skilled at all. You can basically grab all of these different sections, pre-styled sections, and build out your entire site and make it look incredible. So for example, if you want to create an introduction area on your website, maybe something like that. You can just add that to your page and change the photos and change the text. If you've got something new coming up, you can add this to your site, change the photos, change the text. Same here. So we can add lots of different stuff to your page. And these are just some of the templates out there. Maybe you want to do a features page. Well, there's lots of different features we can add to your page. Maybe something with some icons. Maybe some little swoopy little shapes here. Maybe something that might highlight a photo of your department and some features that you guys do. I don't know. Lots of different things we can do using these pre-designed sections. And you'll see on the left-hand side, they're grouped into intro, features, about, and all these other categories. And all you have to do is then go down the list and find one that you like for what you want to do. Here's some photos. So before I get too far down into this, let's say we like this about section with the hello and these guys here. With obviously that's not going to be very schoolsy, showing off sandals and fruit and whatever. So to change that, now that we've added this section to our page, all we have to do is click on it and change the photos. We'll go back to our kids again, using these guys as our example, going all the way through. And let's grab one more kid here. There we go. All right, there we go. So now we've changed it to our own photos. Just a couple seconds there. Of course, if we want to shuffle the order around, we can just grab one and drag up the order as we see fit. Now we've got them all moved. These two have red and these two have some green in it, so that's kind of a nice grouping thing. And then we change the verbiage. Instead of hello, say, welcome to my new page. And here's all the text. This is all the text. Tells you about our school or whatever. And then you can just, whatever content in there that you want to put, I'll just copy and paste that same thing. Whatever text it is you want to put in here, you can do that and just add it all in there and you're done. Of course, if there's anything you want to change or anything you want to delete about it, you can do that. Just mouse over here. Again, if you don't want the button, get rid of it. That's not what you want. You want to add something else below that, you can do that as well. If you delete it and you decided, man, I kind of like that, I want to put it back, just hit your undo button and you've got it back. So it's really easy to take these pre-designed sections and to make an incredible looking website. Let's go add a few more. Again, we're just going to mouse over anywhere on our column, click on that little blue plus and add a section. Let's go find some other ones. So we did the about last time. You want to do something with some logos? You're going to add some logos? Sure, you can do that. Different text blocks? Certainly. Lots of different ways to show off your text and to format it and stylize it real quick and easy. Maybe you're going to have 3 areas of text, or let's take this guy, something nice and simple. Maybe the 1st of January. I don't know. I'm just going to make stuff up here. If we actually have a calendar widget, that would look so much better. Maybe this would be the 17th of January. And we'll change this to be the 3rd of February. Now we've got, oh, these are all different sizes. This is in 33. So there we go. So now we've got some different stuff. And of course, I could have just changed the colors and all kinds of things to really make it look awesome. But you can see that basically once you've added a section, it's yours. You can modify the heck out of it any way you want, anything you see fit, and tweak it, twist it, change it, modify it, however you see fit, and it's yours. And from there, we're just building out our site. Let's go add some more sections and see what else is out here. My new mouse and my new keyboard are giving me a hard time. There we go. Add a section. So how about some tabs? We can add lots of different types of tab sections, different content. So here's a tab section with lots of different things, different categories, more tabs. Imagine a picture of your school behind it or some kids jumping around doing something. Vertical tabs, horizontal tabs again. A little more artsy look. In fact, let's take that artsy look. That might be great. Kind of a calendar-ish page that if we go to preview, we can see that it's got different things coming up. If we need to change that, we simply go into edit mode, click on it, and change any of those slides. Oh, I need to update that. There we go. So I can just click in here and update those photos again to whatever's going on. I'll change this one to these guys, and that one to these guys, and this one to these kids. How about that? So now we can see back in preview mode, I've changed the photos for each upcoming event. And of course, I could have changed the text to be whatever I wanted as well by selecting that and changing the text that associates with either one of them. I can link to anywhere. I can show the button or hide it. So you can see we can do a lot of fun stuff real quick and easy. And these templates, these pre-formatted sections will make your life so much easier, and you're going to love the way your site looks. Let's go back and add some more. And I'm beating this to death because it's a great way to make your site look awesome. And all you've got to do is add these sections, add some content to them, you know, change the photos, change the text, and you don't have to worry about all those different widgets that we've got on the widget section, whether it's calendars or, I don't know, text or photos or whatever it is. Don't worry about that. You can build your entire website without ever touching a widget and just using the different sections and make your site look phenomenal. And it's all pre-styled. It's already done for you. All you've got to do is add it to the page and add some new stuff to it. So if you're going to add a page for your department, yeah, it's under team. And maybe you like the way these are done so you can get more information from everybody. Let's keep going. Maybe you're going to do something for the cafeteria page. Yep, we've got that as well. Some cafeteria restaurant style items here. We've got it. Maybe some testimonials from parents or some things coming up. Maybe things from a photo of the teacher of the year and a quote from her. Maybe the new principal, different folks, maybe some items from parents or the PTO. Something about introducing a new employee, what people say, I don't know. There's lots of different things you can do. The possibilities are truly limitless. How about a contact us page that's not just a blank widget, but it's something kind of artsy and fun to look at. Here's some curves, and yes, you can change the colors of that by just clicking it. We can add all kinds of icons, update it with your information. Lots of different things. That's the pharmacy, but of course, picture that with all your schools listed there, different locations. Maybe a contact us form, a prettier version of it where you can maybe change a photo in the background and the foreground, something just quick and simple, map, as well as a contact us form. So you can see there's lots of different things we can do with it. Let's keep going down the list. How about a photo gallery? A gallery of what's going on in your school? Sure, you can add that to the page. Maybe more squared version of it. And all of these effects will remain even as you change the photos. So let's select, let's take this guy, for example. So we want to use this one for a photo gallery. And maybe this first one is for academics. And maybe this is going to be for athletics. And this might be for parents. And maybe something for students. Now that we've added some text to it, let's go change the photos. Just click on it. Change the photo. This is academics. Let's see. There's academic. Actually, let's do a library. There's a library photo for you, so we'll change that. And athletics, how about football? Or maybe just sports. See what it comes up with. Lots of different things. Students, sure, there's student photos. And last, we'll do something for parents. And just like that, we've taken a pre-made section and we made it look awesome. It looks great. You can change the colors of the text and the borders and the sizes and different effects and lots of different things we can do with this. And we can even change the way this whole section comes down to the page. That would be under the entrance animation. So that you can see there's a lot of different things we can do here. And all we're doing is adding pre-existing sections to your page. I'm going to add another one. I'm not going to beat this to death, I promise. But I just want to show you that there's lots of different things we can do on your page. For example, you want to do something about maybe how many days left until school starts. There's already a section for that. Maybe how many days until the SAT or summer spring break, whatever it may be. Lots of different promotional things. And when you're thinking about promotional things for a school, your school absolutely has things to promote, whether it's activities that the students are doing, maybe an upcoming football game, any kind of department or club activity. Maybe it's just a spring break or Christmas break or something coming up. So there's lots of things that you can promote within your school, just like a business would promote for their products. Your promotion, or your product in this case, is the students and different activities that are going on within the schools. FAQs, sure, we've got FAQs, lots of different styles. Simply select a section, add it to the page. Social media, we've got it. Different ways of adding social media to your page. Even full pages, if you're going to add maybe an entire page of content, we've got it. We've got samples of entire pages that give you multiple sections for you to choose from. And then, of course, at the very bottom, we've got footers. And I don't know why Pawtucket is in there, but we can we'll hide that one. So these are all of the different types of sections that we can add to your site. And again, you can see there's a tremendous amount that you can do quickly and easily by just adding new pre-made sections to your page and then going back and modifying those sections to make them whatever you want on your page. And just like that, you can build out a really incredible looking website without ever adding a single widget to your page. You're just adding pre-existing sections to your page and then changing them. So personally, I love the way it looks. It gives you a lot more versatility, and it makes your site look really professionally designed. Keep in mind that all of these different sections were designed by real designers, not just me, but actual designers. I am not an actual designer. I'm a wannabe designer. But these were done by professionals, and you can see they actually are laid out beautifully. They look fantastic. And of course, they'll look and feel just as fantastic on any device, whether it's a tablet or a mobile phone, whatever it may be. It will automatically assign or resize and adjust to any device. So give these sections a really good close look, because you may find that you never want to touch a single widget again, because just adding an individual widget means you've got to put it out in a column, in a row, in a certain place, style it, add content to it. That may be way more work than you want to do, when all of that can be done by just adding sections. Mouse over any existing row, see the big blue plus, click on it, add a new section, go to town, add in one of those guys. And so that will really make your life so much easier than having to manage individual blank widgets. So definitely consider that as one of your options when building out your website. So I think I've beat these sections to death. We talked about adding pages, page types in terms of blank pages, page URLs, folder type pages, any of our existing page templates. We have also covered about moving pages around, just dragging and dropping and moving them around. We talked earlier about page settings by clicking on the little icon to the right of any page, and you can manage the page types. You can rename them. You can hide them in different devices, as well as delete them. So we talked about all the different pages and covered quite a bit in this section, just talking about sections and managing columns and rows. So that's about all we've got time for today. We are going to have some specialized classes on certain things like the store, the blog, and some other items. We'll get into the personalization as well and talk about that. So watch our website at campuscontact.com/training. And there you'll find all of the videos that we've created, most of them by me. However, we will have other guest trainers very soon, so you won't have to listen to my droning voice all day long. But there will be other items for you very shortly added to the selection of videos. So if you've missed any of my previous training classes, you can go back in and review any of them as you have time, or if you want to recap any of them, you can certainly do that as well. So last, I would ask that you check out our blog and maybe follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or just keep up with all of the new things that are going on our website. Subscribe for updates and information as we go forward. If you need anything from us, you can always contact us toll free at 888-242-2685, or go to our support page, or the contact page, I guess. And you can hit up the live chat in the bottom left corner. You can ask us any questions as well. We can do a remote support to your computer so we can see what's going on your end if you got something wonky going on. Or if you want to submit a trouble ticket to us, you can do that as well right here. Submit a trouble ticket and send that to us, and we'll respond to it as quickly as possible. So I hope you got a lot out of this other training class, this more advanced session. And if you ever need anything else, again, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Rob with Campus Contact. Have a wonderful, awesome day. Take care.